Hello, all my friends out there in TV land. It's a cold, blistery morning in Libertyville, Illinois, but our hearts are warm to you, and we have a show today with information that you need. So go get your cup of coffee, come, sit down, paper and pencil, because you need to take down some information, and we're going to talk about something that is new that's coming to our area that's vital for all of us grouping of seniors. Remember, we're no longer a minority. Now we're in there for the long haul. We've come into the mainstream, and we've come a long way, baby. So sit back and relax. And I have a lovely lady here, and she's our guest today, and she's going to tell us who she is and who she represents. So I want you to sit back and relax and give a warm welcome to Maria Barnett. Maria, it's so nice to have you here on the show.
Thank you.
Now, she happens to be the Director of Communications for Oak Street Health. So we're going to find out what is a Director of Communications, but mostly what is Oak Street Health. But before that, you know the way we go. Who is she? Let's know something personal about her. I know you like to get the goods on everybody. So, Maria, if you look right into that camera, and our audience out there, our friends out there in TV land, want to know a little something about you, if you have any kids, and where you're living, if you're married, you know, what's going on. That's what they want to know.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. I do live in Chicago, and that's my hometown, and I am married and have a son. He is 2.
And what is his name?
His name is Teddy.
You know what we do?
So,
we don't do little kisses here. Here we get really big ones.
all right. Mwah.
Okay, and how about for your husband? He deserves 2.
All right. Mwah, mwah.
Okay, so then go on. How did you get involved with Oak Street Health?
So, you know, Oak Street Health is only been seeing patients about 4 years now, and when I started, it was almost 3 years ago. So the company was relatively new, and I had a friend who was working at the company who kept telling me about this company is going to change healthcare for adults on Medicare. You need to get involved. We're doing amazing things. And I met the founders and was so impressed with their dedication to making a difference in an area that doesn't get a lot of attention. I mean, setting out to rebuild healthcare as it should be is a big, big mission. But I was so inspired by the commitment and the vision that they had to really be all over America that I wanted to join in. So that's how I got introduced.
Let's start right at the basics. You know, exactly, if you could tell us in your words, from your heart, what is Oak Street Health?
So Oak Street Health is a network of primary care for adults on Medicare, particularly in medically underserved communities. So primary care is just your regular doctor, the one who does your checkups, who checks up on you every once in a while. And
so they set up their own facility. So it's like a clinic-style facility, right?
That's right. And we actually don't call them clinics, we call them centers for the reason that...
So they set up a center.
That's right.
Okay, and so then the center is provided with doctors, right?
That's right, and it's your doctor and the doctor who knows you. And when you come to Oak Street Health, you don't just get a doctor, you get a whole care team, we call it. The doctor has a team with a nurse.
Let's stop right there. Yeah. Let's go a little bit into what is a whole care system? What is that?
The care team?
Yeah.
The care team means that when you go see your doctor for your appointment, they have a nurse, a medical assistant, a scribe to take notes so that when your doctor is talking to you, he's really there, he or she is really talking with you and giving you the time you deserve. It's not just, you know, they're talking to you, but they're really taking notes or, you know, trying to rush you through. You get a lot of time. So you get a whole care team with a lot of time. Our appointments are twice as long as the national average.
Well, now who is eligible for this?
Adults on Medicare.
Any adult on Medicare?
Come see us.
Well, how do they go about that?
So you can call us, and I think your graphics
What
team...
is the number? Do you happen to know that?
I do. It's 844-808-8262, or you can go to our website, oakstreethealth.com, and we have people standing by at all hours to take your calls and answer your questions.
Now, if you look into that camera and you give the number very slowly so they can write it down, remember they're seniors, and give the website right into that camera and give it real slow now.
Absolutely. So it's www.oakstreethealth.com, and that phone number is 844-808-8262.
And now when they call that number, there will be an experienced person who will describe exactly. Now today, what we're focusing on, I know there's centers, you have 25 different centers, but we're focusing on Waukegan.
That's right.
Right? And so exactly when did the Waukegan Health Center open?
We just started seeing patients a few months back, so we're still pretty new. And it's exciting because it's our first center in Lake County to serve the people of Lake County.
So this is the first. So this is really a breaking news thing, that this is the first center in Lake County. Now, I know I have gone through the material, and one of the things that interests me, because many seniors have gotten to the point in their life where they're not driving, so making appointments is a difficult procedure. And one of the things I noticed on reading the material is transportation is offered. Maybe you could explain that for our friends out there.
Absolutely. So one of the big barriers of healthcare is that, particularly for seniors, is that they don't have a way to get to and from the doctor. So they want to stay healthy, they want to keep their appointments, but either there's bad weather, as we see often in Chicagoland or Waukegan, or their kids on whom they often rely for transportation aren't available that day, or the bus isn't running, or there isn't a bus that goes near them, so they'll miss their appointment. So transportation is actually a big barrier to health. That has nothing to do with doctors or medicine, it's just transportation. So at Oak Street Health, right from the beginning, the founders decided to provide transportation to and from every appointment for our patients in order to eliminate that barrier completely.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, then this means what's available for seniors is they can get all their health needs taken care of in one particular location. Is that correct?
Yes, so we are primary care. So we don't have a hospital and we don't have specialists there. But if you have to see a specialist, the Oak Street Health Care team, remember you have a whole team, not just a doctor, they will coordinate all of your appointments with, let's say you have to see a specialist, well, they'll coordinate that appointment with you and make sure you have a way to get there and follow up after you've seen that specialist. If you have prescriptions you need to manage, we are your ally and we are your friend, and that's the way the doctor's relationship should be.
Okay, so let's go over this whole team.
Yeah.
Okay, so that involves a nurse, that involves somebody that's taking a profile on you.
The scribe, like a clinical information person.
So,
yeah.
So they take all, like a profile?
So they take your notes so that everything is followed up appropriately so that the doctor
everything
can
is
talk
put
to
into
you.
one package.
That's right.
In other words, that you don't have this doctor here, this doctor here, this doctor here, and this all these different locations. It's consolidated in one tablet, like, right?
So basically, any doctor, wherever you are on your healthcare journey, whether it be getting your primary care at Oak Street Health or seeing a specialist outside of Oak Street Health, your care team knows about it, is following up with you on it, and you're kind of like the quarterback since the Super Bowl was last night.
So you get a primary doctor.
Oh, your primary care doctor is the center of your care team, and the care team involves a nurse, a medical assistant, and a scribe to take notes. We also have phlebotomists and labs on site, so you don't have to go anywhere else for your labs.
So this just opened up a few months ago.
In Waukegan.
All right, so then the procedure that they go through is to either call or go on the website and find the information and plug in. Now, say they just want to look it over. Do you have any events coming up?
We do. If you go to our website, all of our centers have a center page, and there's events all the time. And if you just want to come see the center for yourself, so we're different than a regular doctor's office. That's why we call ourselves a center. All of our centers have big, beautiful community rooms.
Okay.
And across our 25 centers, every year we have 10,000 fun, free, daily, health-focused, bingo nights, activities, where seniors can just come in and have a good time and, relax and make some friends. But a lot of those activities are also educational. So if you have questions about Medicare coverage, your benefits, we have healthcare information as well in our centers. So if you just want to stop in and check it out for yourself, come on in on Grand Road in Waukegan, and we are there.
Well, say if a person wants to have some information mailed to them, is that available? They can just call the number or go to the website?
Absolutely. So if you call the number 844-808-8262, call now. We have real people standing by waiting
And
to
so
give you
it's not-
all the information. It's
you're
none of
not
those
getting a-
phone trees. No, no,
not
no. We have
getting
real
a-
people.
Oh.
It's about the human connection. That's something we do really well at Oak Street. Whether it be answering a phone or seeing a doctor, you will always be treated with the time and attention you deserve.
Well, maybe you could give the address of where the Waukegan Health Center is located.
It's on Grand Road, and we can put the graphic up
Okay.
afterward.
It's on Grand Avenue? Grand Avenue?
Yes.
Well, oh, okay. So if it's on Grand Avenue in Waukegan, so if they go to the website, they can find out all the information how to get there?
Absolutely, and we have a map up that shows you where it is, and you can also just call the number and we can tell you
Send
how to get
somebody
there.
out?
Yeah.
Well, say, could they get transportation if they just want to come and look at the center?
If you call our phone number and you want to book what we call a welcome visit, which is where we tell you who we are, we do send a van out to get you and show you what it is. And I'll tell you, 9 out of 10 people that come into our centers, they love it. They tell their family and friends about it. So give us a call and we will be happy to show you what we're all about.
Well, as communication director, do you communication director just for the Waukegan Center or for a group of them?
So I'm actually have one of the best jobs at Oak Street, other than taking care of patients, which I think is actually the best job at Oak Street. But I have the privilege of having a company-wide role where I tell the Oak Street story across all of our centers. So it's company-wide.
Across all of the centers. So you're not just for the Waukegan, you're for the whole grouping of them. Well, we're going to come back to that, but right now I'm going to go into, I have a little segment that I reserve for my friends. You know, I feel like their mother. I always have to give them information how we can live forever. Okay, so to all my dear heart friends out there, what I'm concerned about right now is the flu season. I'm concerned as a grouping of seniors, what we have to watch out for is pneumonia. Now, this flu season is supposedly one of the worst flu seasons ever. So what we have to do is learn how to protect ourselves. Now, one of the things that happened to a close family member, my brother, is he thought he just had the flu, and he wasn't really paying that. He was just home. He didn't go to the doctor, and he kept getting sicker and sicker. Well, he started with the flu, but what it broke into was pneumonia. So when he went into by the time he went into the emergency room, they just took him right away and they put him in intensive care because not only did he have the flu, but what he had was pneumonia from this type of flu that was contagious, and it was very dangerous, and he was in the hospital for a while. So we have to protect ourselves. So what I'm bringing forward to you, I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm just bringing forward precautions that we have to take. Number one, I'll tell you one of the things I do. If I feel a cold coming on, I take a daily vitamin C. I double up on my vitamin C. But don't do anything unless your doctor agrees to this, because I'm not a doctor. I'm just trying to give you tips how you can stay well during this flu season. Number two is, I know in every different places you'll go in, they have that disinfectant. Keep your hands clean, because I read some statistics and they're shattering how these germs, these tough germs, these flu germs, they can live on the handles of doors. So one of the things we keep is our hands clean. I tell you, I wear my hands out during the season. I wash them so much, but I just confess that all the time. I'm not going to get the flu. And then another thing that you can do, if you feel susceptible, if you're going to be riding on an airplane and you're going to be in a whole lot of contact with a whole lot of different people, that you could buy these paper masks. And even though they're paper masks, it's treated with a certain ingredient that it will keep the bug out, and you can look weird for just a short time, but better be look weird and play it safe. Then another thing that I stop from, and I get a lot of dirty looks when I'm in church, is I stay away from a lot of kissy, you know, and I tell them, don't take any offense, but I haven't had a flu shot, and I'm not catching the flu, and I stay away during this high season. We really have to protect ourselves. Okay, I can go on and on, but I think my time is running out, and I want you to go to the website because there's a lot of information for you, and anything you want to hear, if you want to contact me, my telephone number is area code 847-573-1233. I've heard a lot from you, and I'll tell you about it next time. And the other thing is I want you to go to the website. I have 90 shows with information online. It may be up to almost 95 at this point, and that is Senior Issues, etc., etc.org. And if you do that, we're in together on this. We made a pledge, we're going to live forever, and so we're stretching it as long as we can, and we've come from the minority into the mainstream. So God bless you. You got to stay well, keep it together. Now we're going to get back to the rest of the information. So here we are. We have people now just learning about this advantage. What I'd like to go through right now is, let's go through, Maria, some of the advantages a person would have in joining with the health center as opposed to just using Medicare and going hither and fro to all different doctors. Can you help us with that?
Well, right away, you said it. Having one dedicated doctor, never mind one with a whole team, is much better for keeping track of your health care over a long time than a series of doctors that don't speak to each other. What we found is that a lot of seniors just don't have one doctor, or they want to see a doctor when they're ill, but there's no opportunity because there's a 3-week wait. You call in, I'm not feeling well. Well, I can get you in 2 weeks. Well, that's a long time if you're not feeling well. So either it's going to go away by then, or it's going to be far more serious, which leads to unnecessary hospitalizations. At Oak Street Health, one of those advantages you asked about is that we have same-day and next-day appointments available.
Let's say that again, because that's a real biggie.
Big.
Because that's one of the obstacles I know with the problems that they had at the Veterans Administration. That was the biggest problem. And that is the problem that we're seeing now, because the doctors' offices and the hospitals are so overcrowded that there's such a long waiting time. So let's go through that again.
Absolutely.
Look right in that camera and
I would be happy
straight.
to give it to you straight. So across healthcare, there's a lot of good intentions to see people, but there's just not enough doctors in many places, particularly in medically underserved communities, so wait times are very, very long. Oak Street Health goes into communities that are medically underserved that need more doctors, particularly for adults on Medicare. And when you're an Oak Street Health patient, you can see someone next day or same day. And we also have a 24/7 call line where you can talk to a medical professional. And again, this isn't a phone tree. This is a real life person who will answer all of your questions during a personal call. And we follow up with you. So that's a big advantage of Oak Street Health. And I think that's something your viewers will be very interested in hearing about.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Now let's talk about Oak Street Health. We just dipped in on that a little bit. Maybe you could expand upon it. I know that you're regional right now, but you're on the growth.
That's right.
So fill us in.
So the name says it a lot of it. So Oak Street Health. Why Oak Street? Oak Street is one of the top 10 most common street names in America. So it's kind of founded on the philosophy that every town, every city in America has an Oak Street. Every town, every city in America should and can and will have an Oak Street Health.
It's like apple pie.
That's right. And we are very focused on rebuilding healthcare as it should be for adults on Medicare. And as we know, in your show, the Medicare eligible population is only growing. So the need for places like Oak Street Health is only going to grow. And that's why we've grown to 25 centers in just about 40 years. And we have close to 40,000 patients. And we are not going to stop. We're expanding all the time. We're in 7 markets right now, and we will be in many, many more as the years go on. We are very focused on bringing the right health care to adults on Medicare across America.
Well, I know that that when we started the show, we were actually a minority group as a grouping of seniors. And we were a group that voted, but that we have, due to technology and due to medication, having medication, and we have extended the longevity of life has increased so, and with the baby boomers coming in, that has increased us right into the mainstream. So this population growth has occurred, but around us, the accommodations for it hasn't increased as much as we, as a grouping of people, have increased. So what, like, I know, like us doing the show, this technology we're doing, this is how it's going to be, this is the future. And what you're talking about, this is the future. And so this is the ground laying thing of the future. So people should learn how to switch. And you know, what we have to learn as seniors is change is not bad. Change is a good thing if we're going to benefit more and live a longer life.
Yeah, and we call ourselves a new model, right? I think what you're describing a lot is the old model wasn't equipped for a very large growing senior population. And it's kind of nice to go to a healthcare center that's built specifically and exclusively for adults on Medicare. So when you do go to the activities and see your doctors, we've got people that are trained and focused and want to serve seniors exclusively. It's a nice feeling, and we get a lot of really heartwarming compliments from our patients on that note.
I know that there are some mainstream doctors that won't take new patients with Medicare, you know, because it's too much rigmarole they have to go through, and they don't want to go through the rigmarole of it all.
Yeah.
You know, it's too much paperwork, and, you know, they just, you know, are opting out of it because it's an overcrowded system, and we haven't made all the adjustments in the growth and how it should be handled.
Yeah, and that's why we're rebuilding it as it should be. And all the paperwork you described, if you have questions about your benefits or Medicare in general, I don't know if you've ever seen the abbreviated Medicare handbook. It's hundreds of pages long. It's very complex, and it can feel like a maze. So what we have on site are people that can answer your questions about Medicare as well. So that's another sort of benefit and advantage that we offer.
So
that
this is
speaks to
like
this
come
problem.
out of Medicare. This is like an outgrowth of, is this an outgrowth of Medicare?
That's a great question. It is not. We are a private company. We serve exclusively adults on Medicare, but we are a entirely private company.
So this is a private company to accommodate Medicare. We want to make this clear.
This is a private company that serves exclusively adults on Medicare.
So this is a system that is to serve Medicare, but it is not Medicare.
That's right.
Okay.
We are not run by Medicare. The insurance that we take happens to be Medicare.
And so now maybe you could go over the regional states where Oak Street is in now.
Yeah, so if you know where Lake Michigan is, we kind of go around it right now. We started in Chicago, and that's where we have the most centers in Chicagoland. We also have centers in Waukegan, Rockford, and Joliet. And Indiana, we have centers in Gary and Hammond and Fort Wayne, as well as a few centers in Indianapolis. We also have 5 centers in the Detroit metro region, and we've announced expansion to Philadelphia in the next few months. So we are already starting to break out of the Midwest already, and we're going to.
So you're coming from being regional into national?
Yeah, in just 4 years, yeah.
In just 4 years?
Yeah, we just started. We saw our first patient in September of 2013. So we were growing
so
fast.
that is a fast growth. Well, I know, like, from Pioneer, we've pioneered this show. The hardest push is in the beginning, but then when it gets to a certain momentum, that it isn't as hard anyhow, because the momentum kind of carries it, and it seems like that's what's happened now.
Well, it's exciting. Every new market, we have to introduce people to the concept of a new way of healthcare. You don't have to wait weeks to see your doctor. You don't have to rely on someone else for transportation, and you can have these things. So in Chicagoland, we've made inroads, but there's, people are turning 65 every day, thousands every year, every day, everywhere. So we are very focused.
I have one question that I'd like to go into a little bit. It's on this transportation to the clinic. Now, how far of a range could a person come, like to be in the Waukegan area?
We have a 10-mile radius generally, and we have these big bright green vans that are handicap accessible. That's a very common question we get is, oh, can you accommodate me? So yeah, our vans are fully equipped to handle any person's needs, and it's a 10-mile radius for Waukegan.
Okay, so if they're beyond the 10-mile radius, is there a different, then they could apply at a different clinic? I know we're featuring the Waukegan, it's not clinic, it's center, the Waukegan Center, but is there another one then in Chicago? Like, because the show goes beyond the 10-mile radius.
Yeah, if you go to our website, you can find all of our centers and find one near you, or if you call the phone number, they will be happy to tell you which one is within your radius. Our vans have pretty good coverage for most of Chicagoland. Now there are some, far out regions that maybe aren't in our van radius, but you can still be a patient. You just won't be in the van radius. But if you call the number, which is again 844-808-8262, we will tell you where it is. But to answer your question, you mentioned where the show airs. We have centers in northern Chicago, west Chicago, south Chicago, and now in Waukegan in Lake County.
So we are featuring the Waukegan, but if someone is outside of the radius of it, they can call the main number and get it. So in the finality of the show, maybe you could look into the camera and give some inspiration to the people that are looking, what would be to their advantage to call and get the information. Looking right into that camera, okay?
All right, absolutely. Listen, I am a daughter of people who are about to age into Medicare, and I would be thrilled if my parents were Oak Street Health patients. There is nothing like hearing from our patients that we treat them like family and giving them the time that they deserve. Our doctors' offices are really warm, welcoming places, and your visits will be twice as long as the national average. There's nothing like being listened to and being given all of the attention that you've earned by living a good life. And we have a lot of facts that I could give you about how great it is to be an Oak Street Health patient, but you have to see it for yourself. But I will tell you that 9 out of 10 patients just love us and recommend us to their friends and family.
So you got to give the telephone number and the website one more time, right in that camera.
So our website is www.oakstreethealth.com, and our phone number is 844-808-8262.
Well, our plans for the crew of the show, myself and the crew, we plan to live forever. So we're going to have you back every year to show us the increase in growth and to all the advantages a person would have in connecting themselves with this one-stop Medicare benefit.
I would love to come and tell you all about it, and hopefully we'll have even more centers for your audience to come visit.
Well, you know what time it is now. When you out there, that's the one that I'm talking to, that you're sitting on the couch, you have to remember what I told you about the flu. Come to the end of your rope, you tie a knot, and you hang on. And you want to know why? Because the best is yet to come. We want you to have the best for you. God bless you. We love you.